my Juicy Co-Creators, Lilou here. I'm on beautiful island of Kauai in Hawaii with Elijah.
Aloha. So good to see you, Lilou.
This is really, really good. It feels really, really good to be sitting next to you. You have an amazing energy and so much love and light emanates of you. This is incredible. From you, out of you, to us.
That's
it is
great
just...
news.
It feels great. You're a musician, you're an artist, you're traveling the world. Your music to me is the music of the new earth. It really is the music that our heart, longs for. And I believe you're gonna be huge, and you're gonna spread this love. And this is really the authentic music. It's what you call Soulshine music, huh? Can you tell us about what's actually happening when you're playing and singing?
What is actually happening? That is a great question, because most of the time I have no idea. Most of the time it's like just being a child and that fun, exciting feeling we have to show up and just play and let the playfulness of our expression come through. And since I was a kid, I could just remember making sounds on my body and making sounds and with sticks or whatever was nearby, and hearing music and everything. And
Hearing music and everything, huh?
Yeah, music's everywhere. It's in this moment, even in between the words that I'm speaking and you're speaking, there's music available. It's the birds, and even the way the wind's blowing through the banana bushes over there, and all these different things that are happening. There's music, and it's just about listening to it. And I feel like what I'm doing is wanting to share that feeling of what happens when we truly do listen. And that's where the music comes from, is from this deep place of listening, and from where I'm listening from. And so the fact that it makes other people feel good that's just a bonus, but it makes me feel so good, and that's why I do it. Yeah.
So how do you tune in? How do you get actually to that place?
Well, it's different every day. I think the best part about it is that there's no rules. I really feel like being in the new earth and sharing love with each other, there's no rules to how it's meant to go. We just feel it, right? We show up just like right now. I had no idea what we're going to talk about here, and here you are, just like, here we go. And
bring on the juice!
Yeah, that's the juicy life. So literally, I feel that it's all about just getting present with yourself, and however that looks like for you. So for me, sometimes that's like going for a walk on the beach, or taking my surfboard out and catching some waves, and just anything that gets me into that place that feels really connected. And from there it all flows, and so I think the more we can do to create that space in our lives to feel connected, everything flows from that place. So it's not so much about, here's a regimen, you have to do this thing, you have to do yoga to get enlightened or to feel love in your life, or you have to eat these foods. It's not really about that anymore. It's more about creating a space for it.
I love that you're called the Band of Light, and it's really not just about you being there and playing instruments and having this amazing voice, but it's really playing and being connected to all the hearts that are there, and this is what's creating the music.
Yes.
And I think it's a great model for life.
It's fun. It's been an exploration over the last 10 years that we've been sharing Band of Light experience all around the planet, because not everyone is always ready for an experience of co-creation. I notice some concerts we throw, people just are used to showing up and seeing there's an artist up there and we're over here, and we're going to maybe dance a little bit, maybe talk to our friends about how cute he is or something, but we're not going to really participate. And I noticed that the more I keep making that invitation, that's like the juiciest invitation I can make, is to co-create with this sound, to co-create with this feeling. Feel it and do something about it, whether that means moving your body, whether that means singing a harmony that's coming through in your head and singing it out so other people can hear it, or sometimes we'll bring paints and have people paint along to the music, and all the ways that we can co-create with each other this experience of what we're feeling right now. That's what the Band of Light is here for.
But you're not asking for anything, yet it is happening, because yet last night where you're having this amazing concert, you didn't say, come and dance. You didn't, and yet everybody nearly was dancing.
It's pretty undeniable when you feel the feeling. There's not much else to do but just go with it. So yeah. I'm grateful to just be exploring that in myself, more ways to kind of make a contribution that gets the energy moving, that gets the pot stirring, so to speak, and creates some juicy soup that we can all get in and enjoy.
Yeah.
And besides that, I'd say the Band of Light experience is really also, there's a meta story with the Band of Light too, which is that our whole planet, our whole solar system is moving into the light. It's moving into a huge, gigantic band of light that's in our galaxy that is photons. Photons are light, and so really the whole expression of everyone's in the band is not just about me and this music, it's also about our whole planet moving into this age of light. So everyone is in the band. It's just like, what are you going to do with it, you know? What are you going to do with that light? Because it's coming in, and so we might as well get creative with it. Otherwise it starts to feel like that churning kind of frustration, and I know people are going through a lot right now, you know, a lot of confusion, a lot of people really having doubts, like, what am I here for? What am I even doing? I'm traveling with my Juicy tour. What's going to happen? But every time we show up by having that trust and being creative, just like you calling me up, hey, I'd like to come over and interview you today, following that creative energy, following each little impulse coming into our heart and going with it. That's how we stay on the surfboard, so to speak, through this age of light. Mm-hmm.
And I loved, you compose your songs, right? Mm-hmm. You write them, and there is this one where you speak about this shield that we may have.
Lay down your shield.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about that and how that came to you and what's really there that you feel?
That's a great question. Yeah, that's a brand new song, actually. I've just maybe shared it 3 times total in the last couple of months, and hasn't been recorded or released yet, but you're talking about a song called Lay Down Your Shield, which really was inspired by this this call to myself, and also the call to the aspect of myself that's the divine feminine, to the all the women I've ever known, the ones I've been grateful to have a relationship with, and also there's the divine feminine in general. Is really this call to just to trust that it's okay to love now. It's to trust that it's okay to lay down the shield that blocks us from having an authentic experience with each other in the moment. Mm-hmm. And it was also calling to that part of myself as well, that I was ready to do that just as a contribution to the collective, just getting more real, getting more juicy with each other, getting more authentic in every moment of love. Because this moment right here is this is what we have. Yeah. This is our opportunity to love, you and I right here. Yeah. Just loving each other and just being real, you know? Yeah. And being that courageous and fearless enough to lay down the shield that sometimes we walk around with a comfortable, safe place. Like, I'll love you if you're over there, but if you're right here this close, well, I'm going to put up a little shield. And that's okay too, but the song really came from an invitation to explore what would happen if we really lay down our shield together. Yeah. And
there is an uncomfortableness, there's this shield, and how did we become this way? I mean, it's crazy throughout those experiences, the childhood, but now it's time to just open it up. And I feel that vulnerability is a big part of that, being authentic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's huge.
So that opens up. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I say yes to that too. Being vulnerable, being so open that there's a tenderness there in the openness, that's where the juice is, man. That's like, that is where the true power is. And you'll notice people who have a lot of radiance, people who emit a lot of light and a lot of loving energy, they generally carry a sense of vulnerability, childlike innocence in a way, and because that's what's truly powerful, Mm-hmm. It's like the bamboo, it's bendable, but it's so strong, but there's a vulnerability that when we go deep into that space, just like in this moment right here with you, without knowing what we're going to talk about or what I'm going to say, just by sharing how I'm feeling, that's the most authentic expression I can give you in this moment. So
yes, and it's a beautiful conversation right now, a dance, and this is what I love during the interviews, is really connect to the heart and feel that and co-create. We're co-creating this right now. You're saying yes to things. You mentioned it several times last night. You say yes to what? Yes to love. Yes to fear also, or whatever's coming up.
Saying yes to this moment. That's what I'm saying yes to. I'm saying yes to being a more authentic reflection of this moment and what I'm feeling, and share from that space of presence rather than a preconceived, here's what I planned out for today. It's like what I'm saying yes to more and more is setting intentions and then really letting go and seeing how the wave carries me through the day. And I think you're referring to, like at last night's concert, oftentimes at a Band of Light experience, I will take a moment at some point throughout the night when it's inspiring to ask everyone, what are you saying yes to? Mm-hmm. What are you saying yes to tonight? What are you saying yes to in this moment of your life? Why do I do that? I think it's because it creates a space and an opportunity to connect into that question in ourselves. Mm-hmm. And when we do that, some pretty amazing things arise out of it that if we hadn't asked the question, we wouldn't really know. Wow, what am I saying yes to right now? I'm actually saying yes to maybe creating a little bit more space for myself right now and not talking so much with other people. Or maybe I'm saying yes to going to say hi to that person over there because I've really been feeling them. But unless I asked myself the question, I wouldn't have known. What am I saying yes to? Uh-huh. So we ask that question just to generate just that movement of yes energy and see where it flows. Uh-huh. And it always goes somewhere good. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Non-resistance and gratitude.
Yeah.
I had a question regarding your childhood. Have you always been this way? Have you always felt the love, and have you always been connected to the light, or did you had one of those traumatic experiences like a lot of people had, or near-death experience, or something that really brought you to the light?
I would say it's more of a progression and kind of a snowballing effect of deepening into a space where I can truly love myself. And that's taken a while. It's taken these 31 years. I'm going to be 31 in a week. And I can't say that I had some kind of epiphany that just blasted me open into... I had many experiences that added to that deepening of self-love. But it was more of a progression of creating more and more space and trust with myself, mm-hmm. to be able to love myself so much that can overflow to other people. Mm-hmm. Now, in answer to your question, have I always been this way? Yes, I've always been this way. I can't help it. But in terms of what I feel I'm authentically able to share in this point of my life, it definitely has been more of a cultivation, and more of a... being really devoted and diligent to choosing love. Mm-hmm. And so the more we choose love, in a way, the more our own spirit is going to give us opportunities to choose love. And some of them aren't always fun, Mm-hmm. So some people who are really choosing love right now are having some intense experiences, because that's exactly what we need to really be sure that we're saying yes to love. It's easy to say yes to love when everyone's loving around us and everything's going great. We've got $1 million in the bank. Maybe that's easy to say yes to love. For some people, it's actually really hard to say yes to love in that situation. But I guess what I'm saying is that the love gets really juicy when we can choose it no matter what's happening. And so I feel...
Unconditionally.
Yeah, unconditionally. Exactly. Yeah.
And that's where we really find also our authentic power. Just, it's not even the power as power, but it's just the really the soul, the expansion. Mm-hmm. And letting go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel love is really the only reason there is to live. I feel that strongly about love in my heart and in my life, and how it transforms people around me, how it transforms me just when I return back to it in a moment where I forgot. I realize it's really the only reason to live my life at all, is to love. And I knew that when I was a kid. I knew that when I was a child. But I feel like I remember even more deeply now, having all the experiences and opportunities to love along the way. Yeah.
How are you feeling this new Earth coming together? Do you feel that you're ready on this new Earth, on Gaia? What's your relationship to her, and where are you at with that?
That's a very good question. There's a few different layers to that answer, because the new earth is it's taking place in a way multidimensionally. There's different ways we can access the new earth energy right now. And so for me, there's like three main areas that come to my heart when you ask that question. The most basic level of it, in terms of how am I connected to the new earth, is in my daily life. Everything I do, everyone I meet, every place I go, every exchange I have with my money, with my energy, with my communication, with my music, I'm doing my best to make everything centered in love. And that's as simply as I can put it. If every exchange we make is centered or exchanging love along with that frequency, even communications that feel really hard, challenges in our lives and communications that feel like prickly, not so juicy, by bringing juice of love into those moments, that's being in the new earth, you know. That's just the most grounded way to think about it. In terms of multidimensionally speaking, there is aspects of me that are full-time in the new earth, yes, and are bringing through this music of the Band of Light experience, and just in my personal relationships, bringing a kind of a full-time radio station from that frequency into my life all the time. And then there's an aspect of me that feels very much kind of like it's almost witnessing all of this playing out from the future. In a way, like there's a part of me that feels like, oh, we already did it. We've already achieved our victory. We won. You know, it's like that part of me that's like, come on, guys, don't you remember? We already did it. You know, and so there's all these different layers playing themselves out. So it's in a way the new earth that's rising in this moment through us all is in a way kind of creating this new platform for the blending of all of these different realities that we're a part of. And so just like you and I talking here, there's maybe a couple other layers of dimension that we're also interacting with in this moment, and we're responding to some of those feelings and bringing that in here into this conversation. So it's like that. It's words get a little tricky when we're talking about multidimensional reality. But the new earth very much is about being really comfortable with that and starting to integrate that and blend that into this body, into this physical dimension, into our gardens, into our relationships, you know, into our food, everything. It's like blending all these different aspects of ourselves into a garden, into a place where we can share. To me, that's like the new earth. The new earth isn't so much about floating off into space and ascending out of our bodies. That, to me, isn't the new earth. The new earth is about grounding, bringing heaven down, and bringing these energies down into our bodies.
It's so good to be speaking. I'm 33, you're 31. It's so good to be speaking and have this conversation with our age group. Most of the time I interview people that are older and are coming out and have this wisdom, you know, to share. And I really want to make a call right now to everybody watching that is in the 30s. You know, this is the time really to step out and to come out. And we're the one bringing this also. So special call to the 30s and the 20s. Bring it on, everybody!
Yes, to all of the children of every age who know what they came here for. And if you know deep in your heart you're here for a reason, maybe people haven't understood you throughout your life, maybe your family didn't really understand you, whatever your story is, if you have that feeling deep inside where this is resonating with you in this moment, you know who you are, and this really is the time. This is the time we were designed for. This is the time we came here to have this experience and wake up and realize, oh, this is it. I can go now. I can do it now. I can share my love. I can share my light. I can feel safe to be open. Just like that song that we talked about, Lay Down Your Shield. It's safe now to lay down the shields and lay down the frustration of not being understood. I think that's a huge one for a lot of our age group. It's been very frustrating, you know, for many of us to feel like there isn't a place in this world to express the vastness of what we're feeling. Because oftentimes even in a conversation like this, I very much appreciate this conversation with you because there's a lot of space. Do you feel that? How much space there is of consciousness? We could go anywhere right now. And that's not always the case. Sometimes people ask you a question, they're like, Lilou, how do you feel about this? And you can tell by the way they asked you the question, there's a tiny little box that your answer has to fit into. And that's kind of how I felt a lot of my life, is that there hasn't always been a space for the consciousness that I'm feeling in my heart to even be heard, and that can be very frustrating. So I just want to put out a call to all of the children of every age. I like to call myself a child because, you know, if we're 30 or 60 or 2 years old, yeah. I still think we're new earth children. So I feel like if you could just let go of any frustration of not being heard, not being seen, and realize that I see you, Lilou certainly sees you, we are all seeing each other, and that's really the whole point, is to look in the mirror and see yourself and realize it's safe for me to be here now, and it's safe for me to share my love now. And so yeah, I appreciate that call very much.
And I love the song also that you had, the rain, you know, it's bring on the rain, because we need rain or dark moments to experience the rainbow, to experience the dawn.
Yeah, I say yes to that too. I love rainbows.
You know, some people might think though that you've been talented with music since you were a child. It's not that easy, or it doesn't seem that easy for some people to find their purpose. A lot of people try to find their purpose. I guess a lot of people come to you and, you know, ask you maybe even questions like, or maybe even envy you, you know, for having that really straight calling, you know, music is your thing. So what can we do? Do you have an advice, you know, when it's not that clear?
That's a really great question. Yeah, I feel it's all about creating space. You know, for me, when I keep myself pretty busy with phone calls, just trying to keep up with just the work of being here, it's harder for me to connect into that sense of purpose when I'm so busy. But when I create just little pockets of space, and lately it's been a lot of space. I'm doing a cleanse right now, and I've just really created space for quite a few weeks in a row to just really be quiet and to just go to the beach, play music, and write. I'm writing a lot of music and recording right now. So when I have that space, I find it's instant. There's an instant link up with that sense of purpose, whatever that is. And sometimes our purpose isn't what we think it is. Sometimes our purpose is go down right now to the road and just stand on the corner for the next couple of hours. And we don't know why we have to do that. But if that's what's really coming through from linking up with our sense of purpose, we just go and do that. And then somebody walks by and we connect with them, and they just happen to be the person that can take us to that next step of our dream. And so it really, there's no rules involved in terms of what advice I could give. But I really would support everyone to create space and to create quiet moments for yourself to feel, you know, because it's more about feeling than it is about anything we could say or anything we could share of what you're supposed to do. It's more about creating a space to feel yourself and your sense of purpose. So that's the best thing I could share in this moment.
This is so awesome. I just love this conversation. Is there something else that you really want to share that is deep in your heart, that is important for you, or that you feel right in this moment? Oh, that feels good.
Right in this moment, I feel the light that's reflecting in your eyes, and the light that's reflecting from the sun setting behind us, and the deep peace I feel here in this land, and the ways that the birds are all singing. You can hear them kind of singing their last songs before bedtime, and I feel that I would just love to share that peace is available right now as a frequency for all of those who are moving through a rough moment, for those who are really wondering, what am I doing here? Yeah, and we all have those moments, and I feel that a lot too. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've certainly stumbled along the path. And it's nice to know that somebody loves you. It's nice to know that somebody sees who you are and really does understand you, And I feel that sense of understanding with you right now. I see you. I understand you. I see what you're doing. I appreciate you. And just sharing that frequency, that simple frequency of love, is the most powerful gift we could give. So please give it.
Yes, that's a good point. Give it before waiting for somebody else to give it to you, to validate you. This is not about that. Let's open it up.
Yes.
Well, much love, my beautiful co-creators, and I'm going to try. I would love to film you singing, and so if we can have that, I would love to have a part 2 maybe to this video and set a different little video, but because this is some magic truly happened there. There's no words to quite, box it. It's impossible to box it.
We're out of the box. We are so far out of the box. Yeah.
Well, much love from Kauai.
Aloha.
Aloha.